make these compounds to protect themselves from ultraviolet light, insects, and diseases, and it goes up the food chain. Fat soluble, and they migrate in the cell membrane, and they protect the cell membrane from oxidation. So what we need to find out is, is it Vioxx or Celebrex? Now, I saw the slide last night at the banquet. Vioxx killed 60,000 people. I read it possibly killed 100,000 when the FDA research was going on into the problem, where the deaths came from. They said it was somewhere between 50 and 100,000 people. I guess they settled with 60,000. It was a good round number. The 60,000 people dying from a drug, and nobody goes to jail.
Yeah.
And a $1 billion fine. Amazing. So what we need to be looking at are these things. We need to be looking at what your body, these are the signals, these are the signal molecules of the inflammatory cascade. You test for these, and you'll know if you're on fire or not. And it doesn't matter what cholesterol is. So here's the inflammatory markers that I go for. C-reactive protein, homocysteine, fasting insulin, real important. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Fibrinogen, interleukin-6, lipoprotein A, the LDLs and the HDLs I look at from a distance, but I don't chisel them in stone. Triglycerides, very important for cancer, and fasting glucose. Fasting glucose, triglycerides, and insulin are the big ones for cancer. So digestion, needless to say, Dr. Natasha does an incredible job just talking about this, understandably, that if you don't have good, healthy digestion, guess what that is? That's 70% of your immune system right there. If immunity has a lot to do with preventing metastasis, and you have poor, leaky gut digestion, what do you think that does to the likelihood of you having a metastatic incident? Goes way up. Because we're talking about organisms that live in the gut, a number in the trillions. If we're 100 trillion cells, multiply that by 10 in terms of the number of cells, and that's how many of them there is versus us. I always say that human beings, it's a conspiracy. It's a divine conspiracy that human beings are really meant to carry microbes around, okay, through their manure. Okay, so we end up with guts that look like the left or the right. If you've got a gut that looks like the left, you can't fix it. You can take all the supplements you want, all the wheatgrass juice that you want, but you're not going to get anywhere relative to your immune system working, because that immune system on the left isn't even there. And one of the first questions I ask people, as well as, how's your head? How do you feel? What's your psychospiritual history? Things like that. What's your digestion like and your elimination like? If you have digestion elimination issues, you got to get those rectified. Of course, there's plenty of good information on how to do that. And so when this barrier starts to break, and you start losing the villi, you see that the microvilli are starting to float off, you start getting an infiltration of things that are getting into the bloodstream that are antigenic, and therefore they are inflammatory. And they are immunosuppressive. All right, so this is a thing that really has to, as Natasha says, you have to heal and seal that gut. And when it comes to cancer, it's really critical to do that. So you can take anti-inflammatories. These